የኛ ፖፑሌሽን ሚዲያ ሴንተር ይታወቅ የለም ወይ ህዝብን ሲያስተምር ማህበራዊ ጉዳይ ቀድሞ የሚዳሰው እንኳን
ለጋገራት ይችላል
ለሁን ማንንም በልምምጥም በሰላምም በየትኛው መንገድ እጄ አላማዬን ሳሳካ
ምን በጎ አላማ አለ አንተ አላማ ምንድነው ለመሆኑ የትኛው በጎ አላማ
የኢትዮጵያ ፖፑሌሽን ሚዲያ ሴንተር ያከናወናቸው የባህሪ ለውጥ ያስገኙ ስራዎች ነበሩ።
I was thinking while I was here on this trip, what does a decade represent? A decade of work at Population Media Center in Ethiopia. A decade is but a second in the sweep of human civilization. It's a speck in the sands of time since Lucy and her older, taller male relative walked upright in the Rift Valley of Ethiopia. But it's nearly a fifth of the lifespan of the average person in Ethiopia. Sadly, it's 100% of the lifespan of some children. For too many girls, a decade represents their complete childhood, the age of innocence before the onset of genital pain, or the time they find themselves married to a man they didn't know and do not love, who rapes them nightly. For some couples, it is the time in which they meet, fall in love, marry, and begin raising a family. It is more than the time it took one village in Oromia to decide to enforce the law against marriage by adoption, making it safe for one family to send their 12-year-old girls to school, as testified to us in one of 15,000 letters received in response to Yekin-Kigli. It is almost 5 times the time it took for family planning use to increase dramatically among the half of the Ethiopian population listening to the program Yekin-Kigli, as reported by the New York Times on June 3rd. A decade is 3 times the period it took a program named Nedeti to cause parents in the Afar region to stop circumcising their daughters, as reported by Women's E-News this past Sunday. It is the time in which 20,000 people in Ethiopia sat down to write letters to people they had never met, but whom they felt they knew as well as members of their own families, because of hearing programs coming out of an electronic box they had in their house, invented by a man they never heard of named Marconi. A decade is the time it took Population Media Center Ethiopia to become a role model for health and social development communications globally. It is the time during which the Packard Foundation, inspired by the success they spawned in Ethiopia, supported similar programs of Population Media Center in Sudan, Nigeria, and Papua New Guinea. It is a time when the governments of Ethiopia, Norway, Denmark, and the United States all chose to support use of the Speedo methodology of entertainment education. It is a time during which over 1,000 individuals made contributions to support the work of Population Media Center, as did dozens of foundations, corporations, and NGOs like Save the Children, CARE, Ristos International, and PSI. It is a period during which a single movie demonstrated that effective communications can cause the governments of the world to shift gears and begin tackling the crisis of human-induced climate change. It is a time during which the population issue rose from being unmentionable to being discussed by news and information media and some governments worldwide. It is a time when thinking people began to abandon the idea of infinite growth on a finite planet, and to see perpetual growth as the credo of the cancer cell, and instead to work towards a sustainable planet where a certain number of people can live in harmony with nature and in balance with natural resources. It is a time during which highly creative writers, actors, and producers, and highly effective managers became the key players in leading Ethiopia and the world toward a brighter future. It is a time to celebrate a huge accomplishment of a single idea and a great deal of work by PMC Ethiopia. Congratulations to you. Please join me in cheering Population Media Center Ethiopia.
የኛ ፖፑሌሽን ሚዲያ ሴንተር